Police officers and first responders wear badges to let their communities know they are here to protect and serve. But it comes at a price. Samantha Horwitz and John Salerno work with police departments across the country to bring valuable recovery, insight resources, and workshops. A Badge of Honor TV brings those professionals to you so we can come together and revitalize communities through a better understanding of what's at stake and what's required for repair. So take a load off and turn up your TV. It's about to get real.
Hey, welcome to A Badge of Honor TV with John and Sam, powered by the OBBM network. Hey, we are going to this one stream system, so please bear with us as we navigate our own ways through this, because that's what life's all about, man. It's about navigating through different obstacles, and that's what we do each and every day, and we're going to make it work for you. Speaking about navigating obstacles, our police department, our law enforcement across the nation, I hate to say it again, is under fire. We are seeing more and more officers being confronted by armed felons and being shot at. These criminals are becoming so brazen lately. Right here in our hometown, in Garland, Texas, we had an officer who was shot and wounded. As per the news reports, we hear that he is in stable condition. So God bless. Our prayers on behalf of Badge of Honor. Our prayers go out to the whole Garland Police Department and their families, and the officer for a speedy recovery. Just a couple days ago in New York City, somebody opened fire on a Queens precinct. Hypervigilance is one of our main defense mechanisms to stay safe. It's our fight or flight, but it's hard to get out of that hypervigilance state once we're off duty, and we have to find a way to navigate our stress levels so we don't take that to our family, so we don't take that on when we're off duty, because when we're off duty, we want to try to relax, we want to try to be with family, we want to try to breathe and get ready for our next shift, and it is the hardest thing to do. Sam, what are your thoughts about all this?
Yeah, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is training. And, it feels different, and it is different when somebody's coming into, say, like our house or the station, because we do all of our training outside of the station, right? So
Right.
When it's up close and personal, it may feel a little bit different, but we know from the years, John, that you and I did training, and that our guests, one of whom is still on the job, that if you're trained correctly, it kicks in. Okay. What that translates to is when we're moving towards retirement, or and we're thinking about transitioning into another field. Maybe it's something that we're used to, like security, but
Right.
maybe it's something that we take a step back and say, you know what? I've done my time as an officer in the military, whatever it is, and I want to pursue different goals. You have to be prepared for that. And there is, I'm going to say, there's a type of training, just modality that law enforcement professionals seem to gravitate towards more. And it's training from people who have been there, done that, right? So we tend to, I'll say, dive in deeper. And our guests tonight, they have, one is a returning guest, and he has launched a brand new company. And they are all about excellence in training. And this new company called A Different Breed. John, you always say we're cut from a different cloth. We are also a different breed of people. It is perfect. So without further ado, let's bring Monty and Daniel. Guys, welcome to A Badge of Honor TV. It is great to see you.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, whoever wants to start, Monty, as you know, we don't introduce you. We like you guys to give your own story about your background and how you came to be with A Different Breed. Monty, do you wanna start everybody off?
Well, Daniel's better looking than I am, so I'm going to let him start. And he's smarter, so
That sounds like he just tagged you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't mind being the eye candy.
Batman. He's Batman.
That's right.
There you go.
I'm over here in the darkness of my office here. I gotta get better lighting here. I don't know what's going on. I gotta figure out how light bulbs work.
But yeah, tell everybody watching and listening on their favorite podcast app about you and your background and how you ended up co-founding and running a different breed with Monty.
Sure. Just a brief background on myself. My name's Daniel Mee. I'm a member of the Philadelphia Police Department. Been there for 23 years. I got on right after 9/11 in October of 2001. And I've been in patrol my entire career. I'm currently ranked as a sergeant. I've enjoyed every single moment of my career, the good, the bad.
I think he was about to say the ugly.
Ugly, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, he was a sergeant. Of course he was going to say ugly.
Yeah.
But you find out who you are in this career path. You find out exactly how much you can take, how much learning experience you can acquire, right? How many people you can help, and that's what we're here doing. We're America's guardians, and we're out here trying to do the best that we can with what we're given right now. And the whole point of our company is really to upgrade the professionalism of law enforcement, not only across the country but across the world. As you all know, I mean, in the past few years, we've stumbled a bit, to say the least. So there's mistakes that we make of the head and mistakes that are made of the heart. Those people shouldn't be in our industry at all. We don't accept the idea that there's a few bad apples. There shouldn't be any. The American people deserve better. We're paying serious money, taxpayer money, for us to go out there and effectively enforce the law. They don't need any of the shenanigans that have been going on behind closed doors and out in the public now. I'm a third-generation police officer. My grandfather was in the Navy in World War II, stepped off a naval vessel and into the police department. My father did 2 or 3 weeks. He's out there listening. Hi, Dad. He did 2 or 3 weeks and was given a gun and badge on the first day. And he wound up being in homicide and did 30 years stint in the police department. And here I am, these years later. And is our training really that much elevated? I don't know. I beg to say no.
That's what I was going to ask you, Daniel, is like you got on just after 9/11, correct?
Yes, sir.
A lot of technology has changed since then. I mean, we went from flip phones to these Android phones and everything else. Has the training kept up with the technology that we have?
Unfortunately not. We are so far behind the times. And that, we're not here to agency bash or anything like that, but it just is what it is. It's the current landscape. And the mentality of we've always done it that way just cannot continue. That cannot change. Monty and I have been doing this now for, we've been hooked up together over the summer, and we've been doing this for 6 months. And the vast majority of people that we've come across are running into that brick wall every single time. This is the way that we've always done it. Is that successful?
That is a pet peeve of mine, that phrase. I couldn't stand it when I made the transition from Fed into local. It's like, well, we're out of the box, so we're going to throw that phrase in the garbage. After we take our first break here, why don't we bring Monty into the conversation? Monty, when we come back, we'll have you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about a different breed, and then we'll dive into why the training needs to be brought to another level. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody.
Forget Zoom, try Meetin. Meetin is a brand new video meeting service. And not only is Meetin simpler and easier to use and more powerful, Meetin also has the right values. Here at Meetin, we believe in freedom. We believe in privacy. We believe in America. And we are apolitical. Now, to get your free forever version of Meetin, just go to Meetin.com, spelled this way. And then where it says promo code, type in the word special. That's your promo code. Okay, so go to Meetin.com, type in the word special, and you'll get Meetin free forever. I'm Rick Raditz, and I look forward to serving you as a customer of Meetin.
Hey, welcome back to A Badge of Honor TV with John and Sam, powered by the OBBM Network, and our guest, Monty and Daniel, running a training program for our law enforcement, newly developed, bringing it up to speed. Before we left for the first break, we were discussing the technology that has not been upgraded within our law enforcement. I mean, in some departments, yes. In some departments, they are still in that old time era. Sam, when you did the Secret Service, I know some of the Secret Service training, you have towns, right? You have actual, training towns where gives that realistic experience, banks, convenience stores, that whole bit, pedestrians on the street. I know in New York, we have Rodman's Neck Range where we're still doing, shooting at 7, 15, and 25 yards with our revolvers. And, that's really not realistic.
Well, dang, that's not realistic because you were using a revolver, my friend. I don't know. I mean, even Daniel Monty.
Knows how old I am, man.
Yeah, first of all, he just had a birthday, so happy birthday, John. But dang, guys, he's not 80, I swear.
The old wheel gun.
I still had the 5-shot speed loaders for my off duty. Yeah.
So it's flapping on his on the gun belt, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, funny.
So yeah, with that, I mean, the Secret Service, yesterday's technology today. It took a long time for them to upgrade first generation BlackBerry when I got on, and the scheduling software was something out of the dark ages, but we're beyond that. And huge news if you are living under a rock. Dan Bongino used to work with him in New York field office. He's our incoming with the FBI, the deputy director. So best of luck to him, and he'll keep everything operating up to speed. But with that, Monty, let's talk about your background. I think off camera we discussed you and Daniel together have more than 55 years law enforcement experience. So that's incredible, because like we started to talk about in the beginning of the show, when you're talking about law enforcement professionals, first responders across the board, we dive into training with folks that have been there, done that, or that are currently doing it like you guys. So tell everybody watching and listening on their favorite podcast app about your background and a little bit about a different breed.
Sure. Absolutely. Thanks, guys. So yeah, 32 years in public service. Actually, I started as a cop in Maryland and Delaware. Then I eventually moved to the Marine Corps. I took a commission and served for a little over 6 years, and then came back to law enforcement. That's my real love, my real passion. Eventually made my way to Georgia. Served on a couple county police departments as a detective in narcotics. Eventually was recruited by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and spent almost 12 years there and loved it. It was fantastic. Got exposed to so much throughout my career. What we have started to realize over the last couple of years is there's huge gaps. You guys, recognize this. There's a lot of people that just are tired of being bashed in law enforcement and criticized and everything. We just left. We're on vacation. Daniel and I kind of realized this over the last year that there's nobody filling that gap, not to a real elite level. And it's not a question of can these guys do it, guys and gals do it. They just haven't been exposed. They just haven't been trained. And so that's what Daniel and I have decided. We sat down and said, look, we're going to go and recruit the very best, whether it's, report writing, drug investigation, homicide, human trafficking, you name it. We're going to look for the very best. We're going to collect them together, make sure they have the shared core values, and give them the support. Say, go forth and conquer. Train these guys because they're so hungry. That's the amazing thing. They're ready to do the job correctly. We have just done so poorly in reinvesting in these folks. Really, just minuscule. If the public only knew just the level of investment that they, make in the return, I think they would be astounded. We just give just a little bit of money, a little bit of investment to these folks, and somehow, some way, they don't use that as an excuse. They figure out a way. We've got to do it better. We've got to do it better. And as Danny says all the time, we need to make sure they get a pension and not prison. And so that's what we're creating. It's not just a training company. It's really a community where they feel supported, and they are able to kind of collect with each other, and actually with our instructors, they actually mentor these guys. And that's what we kind of found, that they don't have any guidance. They don't have anybody to go and talk to, whether it's about, health or career progression or actual, tactics. So instead of looking around for somebody to, solve it, we decided that we were going to solve it. So
that's fantastic. When we come back from our next break, let's talk about that mentorship program and how you and Daniel, decided to what it actually looks like and how people can get involved. We'll be right back after these messages. Everybody stay tuned.
Look, when you need to respond to an aggressive situation to protect yourself, your family, or your property, understanding your firearm and legal position are critical. Officers know your skills are only as good as your commitment to training. So know what you're doing. So when you're in a vulnerable situation, we can count on your response. Whether you're a beginner or a licensed gun carrier, Carry in Texas offers basic firearms training, Texas permitless carry courses, license to carry, and basic 2A courses so you can understand the responsibilities, situational awareness, and learn the technical skill required when you carry your firearm. Go to carryintexas.com to find the right course for you. Join me, former United States Secret Service agent Samantha Horwitz, on the range for beginner basics, LTC prep, and range practice. Go to carryintexas.com today. That's carryintexas.com. Look.
Hey, welcome back to A Badger on the TV with John and Sam. We're navigating through this.
We're navigating. That was really weird how I just wanted to start over.
Only if you had the proper training and the tools to do this,
That's right.
Exactly.
There we go.
Before we left the last segment, we're talking about, and Monty, you brought up a great word that I love. It's investment. We are, and I'm not going to say everybody, I'm not going to compile everybody in a whole, because some departments are very invested in their officers, but not enough. And every department should be invested, big, small, six-member reserve or 40,000 NYPD. You should be invested in each and every one of those officers, because they've invested themselves and their families into you. They're not making $1 million at a job, but they're risking their lives, and they're putting a lot of stuff at stake. To throw a little money, to throw a lot of money, to give back to these officers, to build up the morale, to give them the tools that they need to get home safe, just seems like it's falling short. And that's where you guys come in. And I hope they're embracing your type of training.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing. We are so used to, when us as first responders and especially law enforcement, is not complaining, just taking what the situation dictates and going with it and making things happen. But what happens is we recruit amazing people, and we just keep piling on them. We keep stressing them out and stressing them out and stressing them out. As far as, hey, sorry, I don't have the tools for you to actually effectively, safely do this. Oh, that's okay, boss. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We have really taken that to the limit, and it's time for us to really invest just like they do in the private sector. They'll spend thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in personnel because they expect results, and they can get results. Same thing here. We just have the most amazing people. They have this great core value, their great drive, and this hunger to serve others. Imagine how great this country would be if we really pulled a ton of money into training, into the resources and support that they really need. These guys aren't making mistakes because, they really want to. A lot of times it goes back to training. They weren't trained on that.
Yeah. And we in the public, and I can say that, for definitely John and I, since we're long out, is that there's a level of expectation, not only because of what we experienced and what we went through, but the society as a whole, or the communities, expect their officers, their first responders, to do their jobs in a certain way. And when one person messes up, we're all painted with a broad brush.
Yeah.
Right. So Daniel, how did you decide to join forces with Monty, or Monty, how did you decide to bring Daniel on the team? What was it? Because we have to, first of all, that has to stop. If a surgeon messes up, you're not like, all surgeons suck.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monty and I hooked up on social media a couple of years ago, and he was doing his coaching with the wealthy servant, and I had interacted with him a couple of times over the past couple of years, and then the opportunity came up that he was developing this company and offered me a position, and that's how that grew. And the credo and the motto and the core values that he had were absolutely aligned with mine. It's upgrading the professionalism of law enforcement officers. And how do we get there? How do we do that? How do we give these officers what they need to do to not only survive, because that's obviously the number one goal, but it's also to thrive. You thrive, and as John and Sammy, you mentioned and alluded to earlier, about not only your professional life, but your personal life. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to do your job effectively when you're out there on the street, running around, answering calls and doing your investigative work. Wonderful. When you come home, you need to also be able to handle that with your family and your friends, and be a citizen, right? Now, that doesn't mean that we let our guard down when we're in the restaurant, when we're walking about, because obviously we're always going to be on a heightened alert no matter where you are. That's just ingrained in us, and that makes us different than other people. It's nothing worse or bad, but I don't go sit in a restaurant in the middle of a restaurant. My back's always to the wall. That's just something that we do, and all of those types of things. So, fostering that is what we intend to do, and it's what we're going to do in the ADB Nation, and pouring into that assistance and that help that the officers, the agencies, the chiefs, they all need this support. And we're there to be that support mechanism and help them find that pathway to success.
Sam, let me bring up something you just said, and I think that plays a really key role as well. The average citizen has expectations of a law enforcement officer, the expectations. The average citizen doesn't have confrontation or interaction with the local law enforcement. The only thing they see is on Law and Order and NCIS TV. They get that TV expectation of law enforcement. That's why I was so upset when they got rid of the beat cop. The beat cop was the one who interacted with all the residents. The ones that didn't have they weren't the perps. They weren't the ones that were getting locked up. They were, mom and pops that are out, and a cop would walk by and you interact, and you'd learn who they were, and you would gain a connection with them. I think the expectation on police officers is the bar is way too high for what they think we can provide at a moment's notice. We're getting officers, seasoned veteran officers, that are fleeing the job by the thousands. There's just no retention anymore. So, how are we going to build this back up? You got to build the morale back up, and I think training is the key in getting that to move forward.
Training and support.
Well, okay, here's the key, guys. And I got to experience this. This is Sam, you had a great question. How'd you guys get hooked up, and why Daniel? And I saw exactly. I don't do a whole lot of great things. One thing that I was trained by my mom was to see talent, and I had an opportunity to connect with Daniel. And I'm telling you, the core values, he just lives it. He walks it. He talks it. It just resonated with me. I'm like, this dude he's a rock star. He'll be a great partner. Guess what? Today, one of his guys that he made sure he focused on, for the betterment of his guy, despite his own interests, against Daniel's own personal interests, said, "Look, I'm going to pour into you. I'm going to help you go somewhere else and better your career." It came full circle where, Daniel had an opportunity to say, hey, come on out, with us, come train with us. This guy absolutely was living the core values of taking care, responsibility of everybody that he was working with and his community. You said something about, the B cop. This guy was the quintessential community police officer that's really what we want to develop. There's this question, is it over here doing barbecues and basketball games? Is it over here just, being, out and about? It was this perfect synergy that Daniel had planted to see with this guy. Years later, creates this amazing program, and now is going to come to ADB and teach these guys how to do both. How to be a great, community builder, a great leader, at the same time, be a great cop. Also put hands on bad guys and protect the community. You could do both. And he was the perfect advocate for this. And he got choked up because we saw the talent and we were like, hey, come with us because of Daniel. So
that's awesome. That is
Much
awesome.
appreciate it, Bonnie.
Because there's not many, a lot of cops have to put in for stuff. They have to request stuff, a change or whatever. It's nice when a boss sees the value in their people. And that is a huge thing.
That's it right there. You are like, and support. The key is this: leadership. Now, this is a thing that we miss here in civilian law enforcement. In the military, and I'm going to be very specific with my experience in the Marines, leadership means it's completely different. We take ownership of everything that our guys do and fail to do. It's on us. It's not them. We failed to protect them. We failed to prepare them. Here, Sam, sorry, I know I didn't. We don't take any ownership. We're quick to throw Sam under the bus and John under the bus. Well, I know I didn't pay you to go to the range and everything and get all the supplies that you really needed. But, John, if you were just a better cop, and it's not my fault, I'll be in here with my feet kicked up. Now, of course, as Daniel says, not every boss is like that. We know that. We absolutely know that. But the better bosses are kind of the exception and not the rule. And I will tell you, I'm a little biased. In the Marine Corps, that is the rule. You are drummed out if you don't take care of your people and take care of the mission. You're just drummed out. Here, we know we have a phrase: fail upward.
Yep.
Yep.
You get promoted every single time, and it is such a morale killer that you end up with, because I've been there, you end up with a unit that's just like, F this whole thing. How am I even valued in this job that I do? Or, if you love your job like I love mine, so you put your head down and you just do the job, and it's like karma will take care of the rest.
Yeah. But me and Sam, we've seen it many times. We've gone into so many different police departments. From the moment we walk in the door, we could tell how the bosses are in that department.
Yeah.
Just by the greeting of other cops looking at us or approaching us, or the silence and the weird stares, like, either this place is really locked up tight, or it's, hey, it's a great atmosphere. And you hit it, Monty. It's the bosses. It goes from the top down to see how the bottom is going to raise up.
But sometimes you have to.
I used to be upset by that, and I think, I used to, because it would annoy me, because I was a cop and then a professionally trained leader with Marine Corps, and I'm like, it drive me crazy when people would use terms, related to the military and leadership. But then I realized, look, we got to give them grace. They also haven't been trained. They haven't been trained how to be. They've been trained how to be managers, but not leaders. That's completely different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes you have to take leadership on yourself and lead from the bottom up. We got to take a quick break, and we'll talk about what that looks like in law enforcement when we come back. Stay tuned after this short break.
Leftovers again? It's time for something we haven't had in a long time. It's time for something right. It's time to make the right choice. OBBM Network TV is always the right choice. Choose right.
Hey, welcome back to A Badge of Honor TV with John and Sam, with our guests Monty and Daniel. And you know what, Sam? You just, before the break, and I'm going to let you roll with this because this is my favorite subject when we talk about leadership, because I get so passionate about, if you are, and Monty, you just said it, you could be a manager, you could be a great manager, but a shitty leader, you know?
A bleep leader.
Huh? A bleep leader, right.
Yeah, TV.
Yeah.
Sorry, FCC.
Yeah, sorry, FCC. But this is where I get my passion, because leadership is so important. I mean, those skills are so important to our men and women in the lower ranks on patrol, because you can make a break, or you know, and accountability is important. Take that accountability, you know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people think, you know, leadership starts, you know, at the sergeant, and that's not at all. You know, I can promise you, you know, because of Daniel's pedigree and where he came from, it started day one. He was taking ownership of the Philadelphia Police Department, because it wasn't just him, wasn't just his dad, but his grandfather. He took ownership and was watching over these guys. That's just how he was. It wasn't until, like, you know, he had some supervisors. Hey, knucklehead, you got to get up here and help these other guys, you know, and that's what we have forgotten. Leadership starts at day one when you grab that badge. And to Sam's point, you can't be a great leader if you're not a great, you know, subordinate, and you're not leading yourself. Health, wealth, you know, focus on where you want to go. And also, hey, you know, Sam is a brand new leader. Are you supporting her? Or are you stabbing her in her back? Are you helping her? Yeah, you're senior and she's maybe junior, but she got there. Are you helping her? Or are you just going to stab her in the back?
You know, yeah, I think in a lot of people, a lot of the new, I'll call new kids on the block. You know, I remember when I came in, we learn by watching, right? So if you've got people walking in and out of a door, like, where are they going? Where are they going? Why am I not going? And there's no explanation. And then it's like, all right, you're leading the next thing. It's like, okay. And then it's when you're pushed into a spotlight, if you're a leader and you need help, you're going to ask somebody, hey, how do I do this most effectively? And again, learning by watching. But we all know we've got people that just sit in their office. The door's like, I have an open door policy. The door's cracked this wide. And it's just like, do I dare go knock, knock, right? For fear that something might come flying out or my head's bitten off. Wow. Really, we need to create a completely open atmosphere. If you're going to take on a leadership role and you're going to be a leader, whether you are first day or you're the chief, you've got to show your people, A, that you give a crap, and B, how to do the job better than when you first got on.
Right. But obviously they don't do that in a lot of places. It's just about taking a test. If you can ace a test, you can become a boss. So you can be a great test taker, but a horrible leader. You know, you could be able, you know, you can go all the way up to the ranks of lieutenant and captain. You know, you're not being appointed. You're taking a civil service test to get that next pay grade, and then, but you're a horrible leader.
Danny can speak on that. Yeah, I mean, he's got a great, I mean, you know, and I've learned from him a lot of things. Like, you know, you talk about like innovation and doing things better. He can talk, like, I learned stuff about the body cams. I'm like, oh wow, like he's a great leader when it comes to that stuff.
It all comes from it does all come from the groundswell, from the ground up, to you know, pun intended, to breed out that old mentality of thinking, right? Because we want everyone to be a leader. You can't hold someone accountable if you don't give them the authority to be a leader, right? Because we want people to follow policy, obviously follow the law, of course, but if you don't give them the authority to make decisions, how can they be a leader? And if you're not teaching them to be a leader, once they do make rank, where are they at? They're spinning their wheels. They don't understand what to do. And they're starting off that next phase of their career, you know, already stumbling through the gate. So that's why we want to train everybody from day one, like we're talking about, as leaders. You're police officers on the street, you're law enforcement, you're the one going out here handling business. So, you know, if I'm gonna put somebody in handcuffs and take their freedom away, I should and be held accountable for doing so properly, then I should also be, you know, allowed to be that leader that we all are.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. You know, we've got to take our last quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk about what kind of person is perfect for a different breed in your program. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Rise and vibe with your new elevated morning ritual. Meet Rise by Frequence. Frequency charged nutrition. Rise is formulated with a blend of 7 different organic mushrooms, B vitamins, amino acids, and green coffee bean extract. Rise supports brain health, performance, and focus while enhancing mood, mental clarity, and energy. Enjoy the delicious mango lemonade flavor while giving your mind the nutrients it needs. Get charged up with Rise. Fuel your body and mind today.
All right, so you hear about it every week, Rise and Vibe with me and John. Folks, I use Rise every single day as a pre-workout, and it gets me in the zone. There is no, you know, blood sugar crash like you experience with other energy drinks out there. Rise has 0 sugar, so it is keto friendly. Let Rise take you on that incredible energy trip throughout the whole day. And your concentration is key. You're motivated to do more alert, not hypervigilant alert, just alert. And you're in a great mood. So we've made it super easy to get Rise. What you can do is go to abadgeofhonorhealth.com. That's abadgeofhonorhealth.com. Subscribe and save today with Rise. And again, Rise and Vibe with me and John. Now back to A Badge of Honor TV with Monty and Daniel. So let's pick up where we left off. Who are your ideal candidates for a different breed?
Yeah. So it's the guy, no matter or gal, that whether it's day 1 or day 25, year 25, that is motivated, still pushing, still hungry, still curious about the career, about the profession. And that's, again, they recognize that they are a different breed and they want an elite level of training. They want to be around other elite thinkers and be supported. So, you know, David can add, you know, some
Absolutely. I mean, it's about bringing everybody into a cadre of people that are there to upgrade their professionalism. It's about receiving training, education, ongoing support, right? Because we're all going to be in there together. And this is about having that communication. I mean, if you take one of our classes in human trafficking, for example, and you take that class in Phoenix, maybe somebody in Philadelphia, New York, Florida wants to know about that information, and you're in there and you're able to have those conversations with them and say, oh, take so-and-so's class. It was really wonderful. I got a lot out of it.
Right.
And those instructors that are teaching those classes will also be in that community as well, where they're having those conversations, those in-depth conversations. I mean, imagine if you're on a traffic stop and you're talking about human trafficking and you're saying, I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here in the car, but I kind of have that feeling, right? Jump into the community, start asking some questions. You know, and start asking the instructors, because they're going to be in there. You're going to have real-time access to these individuals so that you can effectively do your job out there. It's all about setting people up for success.
Yeah.
So when you say real-time access, what is that going to look like?
So we have an app that that supports the community, and it's 2 parts. It's the community. It's an online community, for folks to kind of get in and be able to mentor and receive mentorship. And then also, as Daniel alluded to, you get to talk to the instructors. You guys have been to those classes where, man, this is the greatest class in the world, but there's just so much information. And then you get out a day later, like, I should have asked that question. Here you have the opportunity to raise your hand and say, hey, that theory, Daniel, you were talking about, I was thinking about this. how does this really work? Or what should I say? Or what's the follow-up question? And the great thing for these instructors are they get to continue that connection with their students, and then they end up building this network. Again, as Daniel said, now you have somebody in Phoenix that has that connection. Sam, imagine you can reach out to someone you need. I don't know, you just need local support that you can trust. Maybe on a fraud case or something like that. Now you're able to call somebody in Phoenix or San Diego or somewhere else. It's all about, as Daniel said, it's about the network and supporting each other. We really want to be around the top tier folks that are motivated, that are not making excuses, not complaining. It's just the greatest part of this job. It's the camaraderie. And that's what we need. Again, we're able to have a safe place. This is 100% vetted. It's for law enforcement only. We have a third party, service that vets that out, where they get in here and actually let their hair down, if you would, and kind of be real and talk about their health and talk about, the wellness, talk about the tactics that they're doing, the issues that they're facing, and be able to kind of be supported. And, we're super excited about the instructors that we have in place now. We have something like 75 in the pipeline and 42 that have signed contracts. And these folks are the who's who of law enforcement. We've got folks that have been 2-time chiefs, written 6 books on undercover operations and leadership. We've got, one of the superintendents for Boston PD, just on and on about these amazing people that are saying, yes, that's me. I'm a different breed. Yes, I believe in your core values. I believe in supporting this amazing, folks, people. John, as you said, some people are not quite doing it. But
Monty, let me ask you a question. What's a day in the life? I'm a new guy. I want to take the class. Just give me a quick rundown. Like, if I came to your class, what is one?
It's classes, right?
It's online, right? Yeah.
No. That's great. I'm glad you guys asked that. It's actually, we do in-person classes, and we actually do, online classes as well. And we do webinars. So we do it all. So it depends on like what your flavor is. Hey, but the only thing is we have the top tier instructors in human trafficking, drug trafficking, report writing, drone operations.
So it's almost like a college of, I can pick and choose what I want to do. So if I want to take a human trafficking class,
exactly.
It's there. If I want to take something on domestic violence, it's there.
Cryptocurrency, yes.
By the top instructors.
Exactly. Right. The folks not just read about it, but they have major accolades where they have seized, for example, our cryptocurrency guys, collectively, they've seized over $100 million in assets. I think they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool to learn from those guys and be able to raise your hand. I don't quite get it. They love this stuff, and so they really get into it. And we're honored to bring this pool together. But
that is amazing. So so I'm going to put up your website really quick here. Is this for those of you that are listening on your favorite podcast app? It is ADB, which stands for A Different Breed Training.com. Really cool homepage. So if somebody goes to the training, it almost looks like it's a portal, right, where you can sign in. You've already been vetted because you have to be vetted to be approved to be in the programming. How do people get signed up? Is the best way to go there, or is the best way to download the app?
Right. So they'll have a couple of different options. The app kind of keeps them in communication of what's going on real time in the nation. So we've got the nation. Well, that's that community where they want to gather, virtually. And then they have, ADB training, which is a catalog and list all the courses throughout the country and the different times, and actually allows, different agencies to reach out and say, hey, we'd love to host a cryptocurrency or a drone course. So you'll be able to see 2 different pages, 2 different things, but the adbtraining.com will lead you to both, and you'll be able to navigate and come into our world. And so
I love it.
That's fantastic. And how soon is the access immediate after they get approved?
Yes. So this week we are launching. So, March 1, we're launching, but yes, as soon as they get in, and there'll be a third party, like I said, a vetting system that will verify their credentials and I think that's nearly real time that they'll be approved or
Oh, wow.
or disapproved. Yeah. So.
Well, and you have to kind of have that in play so that everybody, knows they're talking to other law enforcement
Right.
officers and they're in a community that they can trust.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's a huge thing. We've heard and we've been in many trainings where we walk on this thin blue line, right? That's what represents us, and it's almost like the agency starts eating itself. Like, where did the trust go?
Yeah.
And it only takes one incident where, Monty, as you said, somebody threw somebody else under the bus, and it's like, shoot, all mouths closed, all heads down. Nobody's talking to anybody. Nobody's getting help because we just committed the cardinal sin. We're a family. We're supposed to be supporting each other. So it sounds like you guys have that support also built in.
Well, Sam, you brought it up, a great point. Danny and I both agree with this wholeheartedly. Don't say things like we're a family or we're a brotherhood or a sisterhood unless you mean it and stand behind it, because we're going to hold you accountable like that. Because certainly my family, his family, would never treat, even when we're wrong, the way that they treat some of these officers and agents. Okay. They just tee off as if like, hey, we forget what this business is all about. It's the human being business, but we don't treat our own people like human beings, but yet go outside and treat everybody with all this empathy and care, which is exactly the job. We forget it when we come back into the house.
Yep.
And that's not acceptable anymore. So Danny and I will be out here with a bullhorn saying, hey, that's not how you lead. That's management. So you either are going to be leaders or you're going to be managers. You can't pick up. It's time to rise up.
Right.
Now you have to stand up and be accountable. Look in the mirror. That's ownership too. Just because you got here, now you got to do something with that. And you can't complain. I don't have the money. I don't know how. Not acceptable. Time for you to stand up and actually do what you have to do and lead your people and take care of them. So.
Yeah. It sounds like we've got dogs barking in the background, and both my dogs hear your dogs. But okay, so folks, if you're listening again on your favorite podcast app, excuse the dogs. It is ADB for a different breed training.com. Again, you will be asked to verify your credentials and who you are, and launching March 1. But get ready now to go over there on the website. If anybody has questions, can go ahead and reach out to you through your email that you have on there.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Both of us. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And where do you guys play on social media where people can connect?
I'm on LinkedIn. That's the main social media platform that I'm staying on right now, but I'll be branching off into X and the metaverse and all those other fun TikTok things shortly. Monty's all over the place. He's the face of the brand.
No. Now that's the other reason why we have Daniel. It's a better face for the brand. So I'm on LinkedIn. Yes, I love LinkedIn. It's easy for me, and I'm getting back onto Facebook, so you can find me on Facebook as well. So
Okay. Well, this has been fantastic. We thank you so much for coming on, telling everybody about a different breed. Again, March 1st, folks. Get ready. Get logged on. Visit the website. Get in touch with Monty and Daniel. And leader or manager, pick one. But I choose leader.
Nice.
Get with some leaders. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Guys, thank you so much.
Soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Appreciate you all. Take care. This is fantastic. Totally innovative, and this is leadership training that law enforcement desperately needs moving forward. It sure has looked a lot different these past, I'll say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus years. And so these guys, if there's folks to do it, it's these guys with a different breed. So
You know what I like
excited
about
to
them
see.
too, Sam?
What's
Is
that?
you know, they got 55 years of experience between them, plus all these other instructors. You're talking hundreds of years of great law enforcement knowledge, you know, and these guys don't have to do this. They could have just taken their retirement and said, I'm going to go on a boat and go fishing. But you know what? They want to give back to our men and women in blue. They love law enforcement. They want to give the best to them. And you know what? I hold them in such high regard that says, you know what? I could be spending time with my family, relaxing, but no, I want to be here training you and helping you. And that's what a company is all about. That's what brotherhood and sisterhood is all about. These guys really shined with that.
Well, you and I both believe in that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's important. So with that, again, reach out, adbtraining.com. We've got a couple of trainings coming up right around the corner, March 7th. We are doing a 4-hour peer support training. So it's a little bit different than your normal crisis incident management. You're going to learn different skills. If you're already part of a peer support team with your department, there are a few spaces left. So it is super easy as I navigate the platform here. All you have to do is go to abadgeofhonor.org, and it's a pop-up. You can go ahead and register. Again, the training is for those that are in peer support teams. You are going to get, if you're in Texas, you're getting 4 hours of what we call a T-Cole credits. So you want to get signed up for that, because I think there's like 2 spaces left. So go ahead and do that again at badgeofhonor.org. We're also going to be putting up more events. I just closed a reservation space for an upcoming program, one of our workshops in May, but that will be coming. You know, we have got so many people out there that support law enforcement. You heard from Meetin' Rick. Go and get your free Meetin' for Life by entering promo code SPECIAL. And to another amazing year of partnership with an amazing nonprofit called Carry the Load. They do so much for our law enforcement, for our veterans, and our family members out there. To be a nonprofit partner is huge. You'll find out more about that upcoming here in March. Ways you can support your law enforcement, your first responders, your veteran community by supporting us directly. If you want to jump right over to our website, we got a blue donate button. Click that. $36 puts a first responder through our all-day 8-hour workshop. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate Carry the Load. Thank you. We're looking forward to another amazing year. To all of our law enforcement out there, thank you for what you do. Thank you for keeping our community safe. We pray for you every single day. To all of our veterans out there, thank you for fighting the good fight that allows John and I to do a show just like this every single week, and even say the S word on TV. Freedom of speech, baby.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's okay. I think we're allowed. I'll check with our studios, but thank you, veterans out there, and to all of our active duty personnel spread out across the globe. Hopefully no more will be deploying. Hopefully we will be pulling them back after some critical talks at the White House today. So thank you for keeping our shores safe here at home. John, take us home.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is on behalf of the NYPD and on behalf of the Secret Service, we want to wish Dan Bongino the best and congratulations in your new role. He served the NYPD. He served the Secret Service, and now he's going to serve our country as Deputy Director of the FBI. All good things to him and Kash Patel. God bless you guys. Looking forward to big changes. Stay safe.
Thank you, Dan. See you next week, everybody.
A Badge of Honor podcast is produced for the OBBM Network podcast and protected under copyright law. For content permissions, please submit your request to abadgeofhonor.com on the content page. For OBBM Network programming information, please call 214-714-0495 today.